And we begin tonight with the remarkable high-stakes show of diplomacy at the White House. 3 days after President Trump's summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin, Ukraine's President Zelenskyy and Europe's top leaders rushing to the White House in their own effort to stop the war. This was the scene, President Trump welcoming Zelenskyy to the White House today. Their meeting far more constructive than Zelenskyy's last visit to the Oval Office, which spiraled into chaos. The president had been insisting on a ceasefire, but after meeting with Putin, he now says it's not a must before negotiating a peace deal. In an extraordinary moment, Zelenskyy standing shoulder to shoulder with President Trump and European allies, calling for security guarantees for Ukraine as a condition to ending the war. And late today, Trump calling Putin after today's meetings, saying they are beginning to arrange a meeting between the Russian president and President Zelenskyy. ABC's Rachel Scott leads us off at the White House.
Tonight at the White House, an extraordinary scene of diplomacy. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and some of Europe's top leaders who had raced to Washington to back him up, meeting with President Trump in an effort to stop the war. From Trump, a warm welcome. Appearing pleased, Zelenskyy was wearing a suit this time.
President Trump, sir, your message to the people of Ukraine as world leaders gather here today.
In the Oval Office, both men seeming determined to avoid a repeat of their explosive clash 6 months ago.
Thanks so much, Mr. President. If I can, first of all, thank you for invitation and thank you very much for your efforts, personal efforts to stop killings and stop this war. Thank you.
President Trump hoping today's meeting will lead to a trilateral meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
I think there will be a reasonable chance of ending the war when we do that.
Zelenskyy insisting on security guarantees in case Russia invades again.
Security guarantees do you need from President Trump to be able to make a deal? Is it American troops, intelligence, equipment? What is it?
Everything. It depends on the big countries, on the United States, on a lot of our friends.
Trump making this commitment.
We're going to make sure that if there's peace, the peace is going to stay long term. This is very long term. We're not talking about a 2-year peace and then we end up in this mess again.
Pledging American support.
When it comes to security, there's going to be a lot of help. It's going to be good. They are first line of defense because they're there. They're Europe. But we're going to help them out also. We'll be involved.
But on the question of an immediate ceasefire, the president unmoved. Heading to meet with Putin in Alaska, he called it a must.
I want to see a ceasefire rapidly. I don't know if it's going to be today, but I'm not going to be happy if it's not today.
But Putin said no, and Trump backed down. Today, European leaders trying to change his mind. President Emmanuel Macron of France.
To ask for a truce or a ceasefire, at least to stop the killings, as we discussed, is a necessity. And we all support this idea.
German Chancellor Friedrich Merz.
I can't imagine that the next meeting would take place without a ceasefire. So let's work on that and let's try to put pressure on Russia.
Trump unconvinced.
I like the concept of a ceasefire for one reason, because you'd stop killing people immediately, as opposed to in 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever it takes. But we can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting.
The president confident Putin wants a deal. Earlier, live mic picking up this conversation between Trump and France's Macron.
I think he wants to make a deal for me. You understand? As crazy as it sounds.
The president telling Zelenskyy and the allies he would soon call Putin to fill him in on the day's talks and discuss next steps.
And Rachel joins us now from the White House. And Rachel, we've just learned that call between President Trump and Vladimir Putin has now taken place. So what are you hearing?
Mary, the president posting on social media that he called President Putin to begin arrangements for a meeting. He says the first meeting that would take place would be between Putin and Zelenskyy, and that would be followed by another meeting that the president would then join. Still a lot of questions on when and where these meetings would take place, and of course whether these two leaders, Zelenskyy and Putin, can make an agreement for lasting peace. Mary?
That's the big question we shall see. Rachel, thank you.